Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to my crazy ass. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for checking out my video today. I'm sitting in my healing room, my massage room, my reading room, and I hope you like the backdrop. I've got some new candlestick holders. I'm not sure if you can see there. They're kind of cool. I'm in a good mood today and it is my birthday. I am 37 human years old in this realm. Yes. Where the fuck did that happen? It's like, what? So yeah, I wanted to keep this video relatively short. It's going to be a little bit of an update video about what's been going on with me and just talking about a few topics that have been happening in my life, what's been going on. So I hope that you're all having a really good week. I don't have like a topic as such that I'm just going to, rabbit on about, but it's going to be a bit of a mix. So yeah, I hope that you're all having a good week. It is, God, I think it's less than 36 days until the end of the year, or it might even be less than that. And it's just like, whoa, where did this year go? I'm starting to kind of wind down a little bit and tune into, a reflective state. But although I'm in a reflective state, that means that I shouldn't just kind of throw everything out and go, oh, well, holiday mode, Christmas holiday mode. No, we've still got work to do. I'm still working. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still here. So I'm still seeing clients for consultations and I'm still doing things. But I am feeling really, really fucking powerful right now. And you can probably feel something's going on with me. This always happens, by the way, around my birthday. Some things that needed to shift. And of course, I am very much in that darker element of the sun. So once my sun sign comes around, it's my turn. My strength has returned. My clarity has returned. And I'm like, it's like catch an arrow with my fingers and snap it kind of thing. So vibrating higher and higher and higher. And of course, as I vibrate higher and higher, I have a lot of what I call parasites or Klingons that try to grab onto me and try and pull me down or try to fuck around with my energy or see some shiny light, and they're trying to get in there and fuck me up. But I'm always staying on my goal. I'm always staying focused. And so now is the time for me. This is the time of the year where I'm out doing the rituals. I'm out there doing the magics. The weather here has been absolutely fucking terrible. If you live in Melbourne, or probably the weather's been fucking terrible everywhere. It's been, oh God, flooding non-stop. And we had a period where it was raining for nearly 3 or 4 weeks on and off straight. So to all of the people out there that have or are going through, homelessness or displacement. Oh, Jesus. My heart goes out to you. Look, that's another, that's another topic for another day. But yeah, I had a minute and I hope you like my ring, by the way. This is a ring that a friend of mine got me for my birthday. I did end up going to the Mind, Body and Spirit Expo. I'm not sure, I'll put it really close so you can see. It's picking up the ring light really well. It is an onyx, so you know who you are, and thank you so much. I am treasuring this beautiful ring. It's so good. The onyx and the obsidian is my go-to ring, go-to stone, gemstone, whatever. Very big on the darker, if you know me, I'm very big on the shadowy side of life, but I'm also very big on the more heavier duty crystals. That's kind of my jam. But yes, I did end up going to the Mind, Body and Spirit Expo. And yeah, look, I'll just share what I thought. Where to start? I mean, it's been such a roller coaster this year. It's been such a roller coaster over the past couple of years, where so much has happened since COVID happened. Lots of changes have happened. I've seen lots of people come and go in the industry, in the psychic medium industry, in the self-help industry, get people going into the psychology industry, people leaving industries. It's been such a mashup. A lot of belief systems that people were following, they no longer follow, they sever ties. It's just been a whirlwind. And coming into that reflective state of being this year, it was like, this was the year that I was going to get shit done. And I started off very strong coming into January, February. Everything was really kind of on a momentum, because I have a lot of momentum when, I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. When the sun comes around for me and I'm in the sunlight and I can go outside and swim in the ocean, or I can go out to the outdoor pool and swim, there is something that like alchemically happens with me where I'm really in my power. I'm really in my zone. I've got that level of concentration. And then as I head into what I call the darker side of the darker side of the year, which is obviously autumn and winter, that's when I start to come undone. And I went into a really, really rough patch this year, probably one of the roughest patches I've been in a while. And I did share some of the reasoning behind why that happened for me. And it's a testament, and it would also, looking at it now, it's just so important that we do the shadow work. It is so critical to our well-being, to our health, that we don't leave rocks unturned. That if you had something that hurt you or affected you terribly, that you take the time to process that you take the time to grieve that. Because I had something that came up from 6 years ago, something that someone had done to me, resurface this year, and I thought that I'd dealt with it, but it turns out I really hadn't, and it really, really threw me for a loop. And it is more complicated than that, but that's not the point of this video today anyway. But what I'm saying is, when I go into the wintry, that internal hibernation state, which is what winter is, we go into this state of everything kind of shuts down, it goes inside of itself, and that's the time. It's like going into hell. It's the descension into our soul, where we can reprocess, reanalyze, redigest, and try and make sense of a lot of things that are probably nonsensical to us, which is kind of associated with winter. But yeah, for me, a lot of stuff that I hadn't dealt with, or things, resurfaced for me this year around. And it's crazy that you think you're really strong and you think you've got yourself put together, and then something else can resurface and put you in a state that you never thought you could get back into, or you didn't see coming. It's life is a crazy, crazy thing, and people are crazy just when you think you've got them figured out. They show a completely different side to their character, and you're trying to understand, like, what is going on with this person, or what's going on with me. And I think probably as I'm getting older and I'm learning a bit more about life and myself, is that the more that I know, the more that I just don't know, I'm just trying to share some of the knowledge that I've acquired with you, and just sharing and documenting, I guess, some of my points of views on things, or also just like, my life. Life is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. It's also a very fragile thing. It's something that can be taken away in a second. And we think that we've got all this time, and we really don't. And so, you know, anyway, but that being said, getting on with the video, to those out there that wished me a happy birthday this week, thank you so much. It's kind of been a bit of a birthday week. So I've been eating good food and going out for dinners and just trying to enjoy myself. And I've been swimming, I've been getting into the steam room. That, by the way, that's something that I found this year is really helping me process a lot of things in myself, is getting into the old sauna or steam room, getting back into the meditations, and really making sure that there are no excuses. You know, if I really want something, then I'm going to go after it. If I really want to do something, then I have to have the energy and the dedication to get off my ass and go do it. As much as I'm interested in working with the spiritual world, with entities, demons, angels, spirits, whatever, they aren't going to give me jack shit. I have to have that fire and passion to go out and initiate what it is that I'm wanting to do. And, you know, stepping up to the spiritual world and saying what I'm asking for is valid. I have a valid reason for this, and I'm prepared to do the work to make that become a reality. So that being said, I'm all for connecting with the spiritual world, but I also am very much a realist, and, you know, that idealistic thinking, which a lot of people fall into a trap or a hole, I would probably say, with idealistic thinking, is that it's not real. And we cannot prolong something that isn't real. Okay, so it takes real courage and it takes real integrity to understand the difference. That being said, I did go to the Mind, Body and Spirit Expo. Now, I wasn't there very long, okay? I just did a bit of a lap, and I was trying to be as friendly as I could to everyone that I met with my friend. I'm kind of going to like Labrador mode. I'm like, hey, hi, what's your name? What do you do? Oh yeah, cool, I love your crystals. Like, what awesome. Like, I'm just so big on supporting people that are in this field. But having a conversation with my friend afterwards, some pretty interesting words came up that we spoke about in private. That was a lot, and going back to the idealistic thinking there for a minute, was a lot of these people that are attracted to the spiritual world and that are attracted to psychics, the occult, magic, any type of like self-help. A lot of these people are very, very mentally ill. They are. And you can see that. And when I'm around them, I can feel that. And you can't deny that. A lot of people that come to the spiritual industry, they are not genuine. Okay? And there were a lot, I'm not saying that being mentally ill is not genuine. What I'm saying is there were a lot of charlatans there. There was a lot of charlatan energy there. And it was really quite sad to see, because you've got on one hand people that are very lost, very confused, and are looking for something outside of themselves to make something inside them better, which is fine. And I've been guilty of that too. You know, we all have, buying crystals and things like that. But yeah, the work that we have to do comes from within. And a lot of people really capitalize on that. And that's why I've always said, when it comes to psychics and mediums and things like that, a lot of the majority of people in this field, tarot card readers, they have just freshly walked through the door. They haven't learnt the cards. They don't know what they're doing. And now they're giving spiritual advice to other people. It breaks my heart, because I've seen the damage that it can do, and I've seen how far it can go. But there was a lot of that going on. And also in a positive note, it was very cool to see that since COVID has happened and it's kind of done its, it's done its thing, that things like this can still even be open. They can still exist. I mean, it's free door entry, but still, you know. So if you're out there and you're trying to make art and, you know, support yourself by selling your things, then you just keep on going. You know, that's the secret that I want to share with you. There is no secret. It's just, please just keep on going. If you've got an itch to scratch that needs to express itself, if you've got an itch that you need to get that creative energy out, just get it out and don't be scared. I know it's terrifying, but anyway, yeah. So that being said, the Mind Body Spirit Expo was quite disturbing, to be honest. But I had a good time and I left and, you know, had a bit of a chat. But yeah, and it's interesting because here I am kind of moving away a little bit, you know, I'm getting pulled in a different direction, you know. The tides or the ocean, the waves of the universe, they're kind of moving me into doing kids books now. So I am moving on into literature and I want to make an animated film and things like that. So I'm not really prevalent as much, you know, as I was before. You know, back in the day, I was at the stall, you know. I was there doing it. I was out on the field. I was out in the trenches. But now as the years have gone on, I've kind of moved in a different direction and I don't really engage in chat groups so much or connecting with witches or mystics and things like that, because I'm kind of gone in a different place. And it's nice that yeah, I've got a lot of support. A lot of people have been very supportive of that, and it's very kind of you. Thank you. But I did the other day, it was a bit funny. It was a moment I was I was sitting in my car and I was like, I'm changing my Instagram handle, went from the Goliath Tarot Deck to Goliath Artist Author. And it was like, wow. I remember the time that I, you know, set up that Instagram handle and put my artwork out there for the first time and just kind of jumped in the deep end of it all. And here I am, you know, 4 years later, and it's kind of like, no, I'm in a different place now. I'm in a different field now, and that's okay. And trusting that people that have followed my work will come over and support my, you know, kids book that I'm working on, which is about emotions and integration and fragmentation and moving into more of the psychological stuff that I'm interested in. But I feel that it's all connected and it's all relative. So yeah, that leads me to say that I'm not going to be doing a reprint of my Goliath Tarot at this stage. It seems that it's kind of run its course. It was a huge undertaking for me, and something that came through me, and it went on for about 4 years until it got made, and now it's done. And you know, you have to kind of make these decisions as an artist. You've got to also make business decisions and learn about like what is viable financially for me to be able to support myself as a creator, and then continue to make money and then put that money back into myself so I can make more art and more things. So yes, if you haven't picked up a copy of the second edition of my tarot deck, then now's the time, because at this stage I do have less than 100 copies left, and after that has sold out, then yeah, it's time, and that's okay. So yeah, it's exciting, it's weird. I'm very much in a new uncharted territory, and I am looking currently for a publicist. So I'm now moving into the direction of paying for exposure through a person that I can have a manager, and look for someone who can help manage me, to help me focus on what I do the best, which is make my art, make my content, and put that out in the world, and also help open some doors for me, or at least get me to the door so I can do my pitch, because I have a lot of ideas that I'd like to get done. But yeah, as the year is winding down and I'm sitting here, you know, just talking candidly to you, I'm starting to now understand a lot about what it was that I was supposed to do. And as a youngin in my 20s and mid 20s coming into my 30s. I studied acting. I also studied film. I was very interested in, things like that. I also took a few creative writing courses and I was interested in writing as well. And here I am writing books, kids' books. And also from the acting side of it, I was also very interested in the directing side of it. So making a story, making a storyboard, creating a scene, creating a character, building up a world that would be cohesive, that I could put together and then bring that out. And it's kind of funny that all of these skills that I learned back in the day, not really knowing why I'd learnt them, they're all starting to come out now, and I'm starting to see, that's why I was interested. That's why I was interested in directing. That's why I was interested in acting, because I had to learn hands-on, firsthand, what it was that I was, what it is to be in the character by being in it. So a lot of hard experiences in my life, but now it's all kind of coming full circle, and I'm starting to understand what I'm actually really here for. And it's a crazy time because I don't know much about animation or putting together a film, but I know how to edit now. I'm learning how to cut things. I'm learning new programs, and I also did clay model sculpture, so I'm learning to start working with stop motion, which is something that I'm trying to do. So the plan that I'm doing for this year is finishing my kids' book. So I am getting that done, and it will be hopefully available in the first month of next year. So by the end of January next year, I'm hoping to have my book out. So it will be available from my main website. Also, I am looking at getting it into bookshops. So that's another thing that I'm working on at the moment. And that's coming up. So that's really exciting, and I'm working really hard to get that done. I'm in the stages of putting all the panels together, and I'm going to be editing. I'm editing at the moment. I'm putting words and text, and I've got a friend of mine who's going to help me go with the spelling, the grammar, and we're going to make it fabulous. So that's happening there. So that's a little bit of an update with the project. So thank you for following me on Instagram. Yes, and the story, for those of you that don't know, it's a story about a boy who lived inside a volcano. So it is a metaphor for the anger that we feel inside and what happens when we hold on to that. Also, anger is a cover emotion of sadness and pain. So it's also dealing with things like that in a way that kids can understand it. So it's got magic and nature and animals and all of this cool stuff going on in it. And it's all hand-drawn. God, I don't make it any easier on myself. I swear I should, but I don't. I always go for the most complicated projects ever, but anyway, and I did actually, that being said, still while I'm working on this one, I actually wrote another kid's book, which is about a mermaid that gets captured by a fisherman and put in a drum, and she ends up in an oddities tank as like a sideshow. So that's another one that I'm doing next time around, but that will be another project that's coming up for next year. But first things first. So that being said, that's a little bit of an update for this year, is me being in a reflective mood. I'm going to open up the floor. If you're out there and you're watching my videos, if you'd like me to talk about something, like talk about a topic that you'd like me to unpack, or it could be about psychology, it could be about life, it could be about mysticism. Maybe you've just got a question for me. Maybe you want to ask me something about my life. I've got a lot of placement in Sagittarius, so I'm very honest, I'm very truthful, and I like the real stuff, the heavy lifting stuff. That's why I do what I do. So ask me, if you'd like, leave a comment below. Ask me a topic, say, hey, can you talk about this? Or, hey, Goliath, talk about that. Opening up the floor. I want to know what I want to know. What do you want to know from me? I will be doing a video on Medusa. That's something that I wanted to do. I will probably talk about the story of Medusa, the archetype of Medusa at some point. I also want to do a video on Lucifer as well. So that will be coming up earlier next year. That's something that I'm looking forward to talking about. I'm still kind of thinking about what I want to say, and I've got to be very, very careful about what I say as well. So that being said, I did have a couple of videos that were taken down on here, which just like blows my mind, because it's like the YouTube police are censoring the shit out of everyone. But anyway, so yeah, if you want to ask me a question, then leave a comment below, shoot away. I'm all ears. It's all irrelevant. And, what else? I also wanted to share recently, just last night in, I don't know how long it's been available for, but the TV series or the documentary series on Teal Swan came out as well. So I had a bit of time with a friend. I didn't get to watch the whole thing at that time, but I have since gone on and watched the rest of it. Yes, I have seen the documentary, the doco series. First of all, I have a problem. I'm going to get a little bit heavy with this. I have a problem with people calling it a doco series. It didn't feel like a doco series. It felt like fucking reality TV. And I can tell you, reality TV is total BS. All right, so it is on Disney Plus. I had an opportunity to do it. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. What could one even say? Teal, what a fucking train wreck that was for you. I'm really torn. It depicted her in such a bad light that I don't know. I don't know how she's going to recover from this, but I'm sure she will. She always does. First of all, if you're new to Teal Swan, you don't know who she is, go check out her channel, go YouTube her. You know, she's a very popular, very famous spiritual help teacher, guru, whatever that, you know, whatever insert word under that label. I've been following her videos for a while, and I have learned a lot from her. I'm very open to lots of different points of view, and I'm very open to anything to do with the shadow, to do with psychology. I'm interested in, you know, obviously I'm into the occult, as you know, occult. Yeah, it was hard to watch. And to be honest, it was actually a little bit boring. I was quite bored with it. I wasn't really interested so much in the relationship dynamics between her and her ex-partner Blake, and their friendship breaking up, and this new person that came into his life from Germany and all that. I just couldn't give a fuck. What I was more interested in, what I thought first of all, I felt ripped off. I felt like what I really wanted was to get a sneak peek or get in more of a viewpoint into how her life works. Like, who is she? Like, beyond being up on a stage or doing YouTube videos talking about very hardcore topics. But what I felt like I got was just really kind of chopped up, edited things that didn't make sense. There are a lot of scenes of her like standing back watching people, where the light where she was standing didn't match where the other person was. So it was like you could see that footage had been shot at a different time or a different day. So it was a lot of editing going on that I felt like it was just bullshit. It was cut poorly. It was very disrespectful to the people that went on the completion process camp that were there to actually do healing, but they came across like they were fucking nuts. They came across like they were insane. That pissed me off, and I felt sorry for them because I don't feel like they signed up for that. Because if I was doing something like a workshop like that was running for that period of time, the last thing I'd want is to be filmed while I'm in a vulnerable state, and then also have someone editing it and making a narrative out of it. So, like we know, it's not about truth. It's about what makes good TV. And that, as we know, is drama, bitching, bullying, backstabbing, favoritism, pitting people against people. And by episode 3, I was like, can I be bothered watching this? Like, I feel like I'm wasting my time watching this, but I got through it, and yeah, there were some scenes where I felt Teal, just being honest, I felt that I don't know how Teal could justify some of the things that she said, but then again, I wasn't there and I don't know the context of it. Now, I personally can attest that in my early 20s, I partook in a reality TV series. So I know that the producers and the editors and the people that are making the product are taking you in. And that would be very vulnerable and very scary. And to be honest, knowing how smart Teal is, I was actually quite surprised and quite shocked that she would even agree to having a filming crew around her, filming her on this level and filming a lot of the stuff that they were getting, clearly, because it was all of the interactions with her staff. And so I felt like that was a trap. But generally what the exchange is, you get to be on TV, you get some level of exposure, but you have no creative control over how that is depicted or how that is edited. And that's what it is. They solicit a response, they have a narrative that they want. And I thought that what I was getting would be more like the hero's journey, which would be Teal's version of like starting from the start, walking us through her life, coming into this field, how she operates on a day-to-day basis. And I wanted to see workshop stuff with her in a workshop. I wanted to know who she was outside of the drama. And when it started getting like drammy, if that's a word, yeah. Yeah. But that's how it goes. And I got burned in my early 20s and I know how it works. And at the end of the day, you just have to suck it up and go, this is something that's happened. There's not much I can really do about it now. And you just kind of let it go. And yeah, Teal, I wish her all the best. I really do, because no one out there really, I'm a big fan, to be honest. Like, I know it takes a lot of courage as a woman in this world. Just someone sending me a message, sorry. It's annoying, the notification. I know it's hard. Like, I know it's hard for her to do what she does and to be in this field and to be taken seriously and to talk about the topics that she talks about. I would say as well, I didn't like how Teal focused so much on YouTube, like focused so much on like how she was received. She seemed like she was obsessed with how she was being received. And I would say at some point, as a celebrity or a person that's in the eye at that point, you have to you can't be in the trenches like that all the time. There was too much engagement in how she was being portrayed. And I don't know, maybe she kind of caught on to it, that this was going to go the way that it went. And then she's like, oh shit, what do I do now? I think maybe that could have happened. I think there's a certain level of unrealistic expectation that people put on spiritual teachers to begin with, because they're fucking crazy. They're nuts. Like, she's one of the only ones that isn't like Deepak Katoli or whoever that's like some Katoli is some perfect person. She's not. She's flawed, just like everyone else. We all have ego. Everyone has a shadow side. So it was, yeah, it was painful to watch. So yes, I want to, now on the topic of that, did I enjoy it? Not really. Would I watch it again? No. Would I recommend it? Not really. Yeah, her name comes up a lot, and I think there's a lot of pile-on that goes on with Teal. Personally, I think that she's one of the only people out there that has the level of truth and integrity that she has when it comes to actually talking about real shit. Okay, she's one of the only people out there that's out there doing it and is talking about topics that no one would want to touch. She goes there and she gets into it. And I respect that. I appreciate that. Learn a lot from that. And that boldness and that willingness to get into the core of a problem is ugly and it is messy, and you are going to have people that are going to be resistant to it. They're going to be resistant to every step of it, and it's so complicated. I would say it would be so complicated being her, because everyone's kind of got their agenda, everyone's got their reason why they're connected to her, and then she probably has trust issues, and then she wants to feel safe, but she can't feel safe. It's a total nightmare. So anyway, that being said, I am going to share something which I have reread. I read a few chapters of it every night before I go to bed, or when I get the chance, I sit down and have a read of it. I did get this book in lockdown. It is one of Teal's books. It is called The Anatomy of Lonliness. I'll put that nice and close. I do apologize if it's backwards. I'm not sure if it'll come up backwards on the camera. Hardcore book. Very, very, very good. Okay, this has helped me. Her work has helped me. Her videos have helped me. This book has helped me. It helps me understand integration, fragmentation. It is an in-depth look at the anatomy of what loneliness is. And we are living in an age of fragmentation, an age of people that feel separated, an age of people that feel isolated. And why is that? Because we live in a sick society that is all fucked up, and we're all on our phones, and we're all putting through the best thing that we think will be received of us out there, but it's an avatar. It's not really who we are. And humans are meant for human connection, like the real thing, like face-to-face touch, smell, taste, that type of thing. But we're living in a digital age, and it's all turning to shit. And as someone who's in a marginalized community, or in is it even a community? I don't know. I understand what it feels like to be lonely. Like, one of the biggest struggles that I have in my life is mass amounts of loneliness. Also, what happens as well, and this is not an ego thing, the higher that you go in your thinking and your consciousness, the further away the distance will become between you and other people. Because if they can't go where you're going, how are you going to have a point of relativity to connect to someone if they're not in the same place that you are and you're up here? So the conversations that I like to have are very heavy, they're very deep, they're very dark, they're very into what the fuck is going on. And when you get people that are in resistance to that, or no, don't want to go there, don't want to look at that, it is very painful, and it is very lonely, because there's no validation there of you, because there's no point of relativity. So if you're in the spiritual world and you're watching this video, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So I want to recommend this book. I read it in lockdown for the first time, and then I was like, I don't know, like, I was already fucked up from being in an 18-month lockdown, which is coincidentally interesting. I did a lockdown and then read a book about being lonely when I live on my own, and I live in an area of town where I'm actually quite far away from other people. So I was like, loneliness overload. But yeah, just quickly mentioning, the book does bring up what it is, the 4 pillars, or the pillars of what makes it. And there's just so many interesting constructs that she talks about, and really identifies like what it is, and it's like how it's really affecting the collective, and just the separation. It deals with shame, it deals with fear, and this book provides practical tools that are easy to understand. It's not all like woo-woo goo-goo. It's real, it's very relatable. So if you're not into the occult, you don't have to be interested into spirituality to understand this book. She has written it deliberately in a way that I think anyone can pick this up and read it and go, yep, I can understand that, that's for sure. And I want to share a passage actually with you. With you. My voice is a bit fucked up today. I'm going to share a little passage with you. So I'm going to read it. It says, "The light shining through the window. When it comes to the concept of self-worth, the first thing we need to do is throw that away. Worth is completely abstract in its concept. You cannot objectively determine the value of something. The criteria created to determine a person's worth is entirely dependent on the society in which they are born." I just happened to flip through the book and just get to that. That's the type of stuff that's in this book, okay? So this is real heavy shit. So get into it. I think it's great. I recommend it. I'm even going to leave a link below so you can pick up a copy of it. I got it. I don't know if I got it on Amazon. I'm not sure, but it came very quickly. So it talks about fear and worry. It talks about the shadow. It really talks about becoming aware of your own emotional state. And I think that's very important. I believe a lot of people, or if not most people, are just empty shells. There's just nothing going on. There's no sense of reality. They're living in some kind of fantasy world. They're not acknowledging how they feel. They're not acknowledging how they impact other people. So it's more important than ever to have books like this. Drama aside with Teal and her TV documentary, and every time someone tries to cancel her, I am one of the people out there that can separate. I don't give a fuck about her personal life. I'm focusing on her content and her work and her mind. And can that actually help me improve my life? I don't know her. I don't work with her team. I don't know. But what I do know is that this helps me because it is grounding. And as a human, we need this level of information out there in the world. Okay, we need to talk about it, especially shame. Shame. Not an emotion. It's a biosensory reaction based on oneness, based on us living in a physical world. As a tribal species, we're interdependable species. No one here can live alone. So we have to alter who we are to fit into a narrative of our family or our parents. And if we have a part of us that they don't receive, then that threatens our survival in the group. And then we have to dismantle or push away that part of ourselves. Doesn't do us any favors, by the way. It all comes out in the end terribly for some people. But yeah, reversing the process of fragmentation. Okay, get it. Get this book right now. And I love the cover too. I love the cover. Anyway, I wanted to share that book with you. What have I done? What are we at? 39 minutes of me rabbiting on. So I've given you a little bit of an update on my book. I've said hello. Yes, thank you for my birthday wishes this week. Very, very kind of you. I did go to the Mind, Body and Spirit Expo. Yes, I did. What else? I talked about Teal's book, the TV series, The Deep End. It was a deep end into nothingness and I couldn't be fucked with it. Still following her work. Everyone has the right to choose who they follow and listen to. You know, as all things, even this video right now, take the bits that resonate with you and just leave the rest behind because it's probably not. And we know scientifically that we only retain less than 5% of what we read. So it's like, even when information's coming at us and we've got all this shit coming at us on our phones and our life, on the news, everything, it's like we can't, it's like an overload. Like no wonder everyone's fucking short-circuiting like a robot. It's because we've got too much stuff coming in at one time. The human brain was never designed for all that. So I would say grounding, centering, cutting out unnecessary bullshit. If you've got people around you that aren't supportive, that don't receive you, don't understand you, you just wish them well and you start moving away in a different direction. If someone doesn't want me, I let them go, okay? I've learned that the hard way. Trust me, I've learned it the hard way. So this is a bit of an update on my channel. I hope that you've enjoyed my video. Yeah, it's been a good one, bit of a rant. Leave some comments below, ask me a question. What would you like me to talk about in the next video? I'm still gonna be trying to upload one video a week. I said I was going to do it, so I'm trying. So, yeah. All right, I'll leave it here. But thank you so much and have a really, really good week. Okay, bye. Bye.